Good evening, Fernwood. It is your partly nice and partly naughty nerd Neil, and it's time for us to take our list and check it twice with another episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. Today we are watching episode 190 on Christmas Eve of 1976. Let's see what happened on Christmas Eve. Tom went back to the factory and ran into Garth and Tiny, and when Tiny suggested that Tom was looking pretty good, Tom rubbed it in both of their faces. Tom was there to look for a man from the finance department and sat down with him to ask if there was still $600 in the credit union. The man replied no, and that made Tom really nervous. Kathy was taking up knitting at the Adamses when Christine walks in and asks her what it's like to be pregnant, and specifically so that she can get an idea of what it would be like to walk around. Kathy finds her an appropriate stuffing, and then Christine, well, it's not awkward at all. Mary is opening up Christmas cards and then finds a survey that is sent specifically to women all around Fernwood to ask about their sexual experiences. And in fact, other women have shown up, including Martha and Pat and Kathy, and they get very excited, somewhat titillated perhaps, by the survey asking about their peak experiences, whether they have partners, etc. Mary is specifically entranced by the question of whether she has done this alone. She gets uncomfortable and tries to leave to go get some coffee, but the other three are firm in their resolve to go through this survey, so Mary sits down with them and finishes along. Later at the Gimbles, Pat is putting together Christmas decorations. Garth walks in with an armload of presents and is very insulting about the job that Pat has done and wants the Christmas music to go off. He brings her a very large present, which turns out to be a bucket and a mop, and Pat smiles through her disappointment. Garth then tells Pat what he got for Phil, and Pat objects, suggesting that it would be torture, at which point Garth flies into a rage. Pat runs into the other room, and Garth ends the scene saying how much he hates Christmas. Kathy enjoys dessert at the Shumway residence and gets a visit from the Adamses, who explain that they cannot have the baby at the hospital because they're trying to hide the actual birth from their father. Mary shows up with a cake, as she often does, and when she finds out that they need a place to have the baby, she offers her home. Then after the Adamses leave, Mary, Martha, and Kathy are interrupted by Heather, who wants the keys to the house. When Mary asks her what's so important that she needs to get in right now, Heather suggests that it's Grandpa George who's coming back, and Martha gets faint. And that, everyone, was yesterday's episode. It's time for us to do our Christmas Eve together.
Mary Hartman! Mary Hartman! Heather, I think the turkey's almost done. I think it's coming. Yes, here it is. The little red thermometer has just popped out. Come here, Heather. Come see this. I want you to see this. Oh, look at this. Come see that.
Ew, it looks like something from medical center, all
No,
sewn up.
sweetheart, those stitches are in there to keep the stuffing moist. That's what they're there for, see? And this is very sanitary, Heather, because all of the germs are heated right out of the whole thing. Don't eat anything before dinner, please. Heather, what are you doing? Uh-oh. There is my famous homemade cranberry nut bread. And you know what, Heather? I was so lucky this year. I bought the last one they had.
Really?
Yeah, get a toothpick. Get a toothpick. I want to show you something. Got the toothpick? Okay. See that? Goop. That's a little goop. And that just means it's not quite ready. We put it back. Okay. We just put it back now, and we wait for it to be ready.
I smell smoke.
Well, that's just the fireplace.
No, it's from the oven.
Oh, good, because the fireplace isn't working. Oh, Heather. Mistake. It's too well done, that's what it is. Oh, my God. Ah! I'm gonna use those.
Merry you saw me yesterday.
Oh, relatives always say that, at holiday reunion.
Okay, Ma, could you do me a favor, please, now? Take the cookies, put them over here, then come back here and put the pies on the counter, okay? Kathy, sweetheart, come here. How are you? Merry Christmas, Mary. Mwah. How you doing? Ma, come here a second. Look at the turkey.
Oh, yes, it's a turkey.
Oh, it smells so delicious. I am famished.
Mary, I have prayed and hoped so much, and I can't believe that a miracle is finally going to happen.
Oh, Ma, please don't get your hopes up. I mean, there's a good chance Daddy's not going to show up today. I mean, it
Deck
really...
the halls with boughs of holly. La 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 la. Hi, Pumpkin. How are you? Okay. Fruitcake. That's better. Look at Mary. Be careful. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. Ho, ho, ho.
Is that you?
Grandpa, where were you all afternoon?
I was ringing the bell for the Salvation Army 2 hours straight down near the Federated. You ought to see the crowd of shoppers an hour ago.
Oh, good. I'll get you... Here. Oh, Dad. Are you wanting me?
Merry Christmas.
Phil, please don't shake my hand today, Phil. It's Christmas, and I do need it for carving. Mary? What? Oh, Pat. Oh, Pat. Oh, you shouldn't have Oh, what is this, collapsible?
No. It was on the floor, and I accidentally tripped.
Accidentally tripped, I know, Garth. How are you?
Pretty
It's
good,
nice
Mary.
to see you again.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mary, we decided to come over here and spread a little cheer. We were just depressing ourselves at home.
Say that again.
Look, Garth.
Heather, look who's here. Do you remember Phil? Do you? Yes, I guess you do remember. I guess they remember each other very well. Here's a nice little gift for you, Phil. How are things at your house?
Fine.
Yes?
Just wonderful. A nice Christmas.
Really? Because I didn't see your tree up.
Well, we took it down already. To get a head start on the cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Can we come in here?
Hey, what's going on?
Party around here?
How are you? Merry Christmas.
Hi, yeah, hi.
Well, Mary, this here candy is my little token of God's blessings on this hour of our togetherness here.
Thanks
Yeah.
a lot. That's real nice. Wonderful. How was the honeymoon?
Oh, Mary, the week was bliss.
Really?
Santa couldn't float any higher.
Really? Wanda, I have a present for you. Tom, is everybody here?
Yeah, well,
Really?
Let's see. Yeah, everybody's here. Let's see.
Okay.
Everybody,
Okay.
yeah, everybody's here.
Everybody, come over here. Yeah, place sittings on your chair. I hope I made the proper coupling here. Wanda, you sit there. Tom, that's right.
Hey, Thomas.
Kathy, you sit there. Grandpa, where's Grandpa? Grandpa sits over here. Put your coats in the chair that says coats. And sit on the telephone.
Stand in the chair.
Hey, here we go.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. Hi.
Oh, Annie.
Am I too late to deck the halls?
Oh, Annie.
Good to see
Oh,
you.
I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so glad to see you. Oh, Annie, please sit down with us here. Your chair is right there. Your chair is right there. And right behind you is your place setting. It's right there behind you. Yeah. Oh, isn't this terrific? Well, I would like to say a prayer.
Okay.
Thank you, God, for letting me be here with my family and friends tonight in my kitchen. Even though Loretta and Charlie are not with us or each other. even though Daddy's still missing.
How are you?
Mary. I am sorry that I am so late and everything. I couldn't get here any earlier. But listen, I just wanted to wish you all Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas to you. Right back at you.
Oh, Loretta! I brought you, one of the bicentennial Christmas trees in memorandum, for little Reverend Joe.
That's really nice. Why don't you put it on the children's table?
Okay.
Oh, that's just so American, Loretta. Let me ask you a question. Did you lick the booze? I didn't want to say beat because, Pat's here. We're going.
Listen, I would love to stay, but I really can't. I do have to be on my way. But I wanted to drop by, and I wanted just to wish all of you tons of Christmas love and everything. And, well, before I go, to where I'm going to go, where every lonely woman without her man
Which should be here with her friends and her loved ones. You sit on my lap. You sit on my lap.
Oh, hey, listen, no, really, it should be the Capri Lounge where I'm going to be just slinging my little guts out, from ever-loving, sweet, precious Charlie. And God love his little bald head wherever he may be.
Loretta, before you go, I really want us all to sing a song together. I think it's important, especially this year. Okay?
Okay.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round young virgin, mother and child, holy infant, so tender and frightened, sleep in heavenly peace.
Come on, Monet, share that.
No, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. I just forgot. I'm sorry. We can't eat yet. Who wants to say grace? Well, we have to say something. I mean, we have so much to be thankful for.
I wish George was here to have Christmas dinner with us.
Well, maybe he's having Christmas dinner in the same place as Charlie.
Mrs. DeLorean is eating her dinner in jail.
Those are pretty depressing reasons to give thanks. I think maybe we could think of something to...
Well, yes. We can be thankful that you won the election.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a good thing.
That's one. That's one.
And we don't have any more hookers in Fernwood.
That's
At
two.
least not organized ones. But that doesn't make any difference anyway. What we need is the true spirit of Christmas. Grandpa, I would like everybody to sing Happy Birthday to the Infant Child.
I like that idea, Mary.
I knew you would, Grandpa. It would have been nice if he could have been here with us tonight. I bet he would have been a big help with the cooking, too. So could we do that?
Oh, sure.
All right. Could you all sing Happy Birthday?
Happy birthday
To you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jesus. Happy birthday to you.
What's...
Oh, listen. Listen, there are carolers outside. There are carolers.
We could invite them into dinner if there was any more room at the table.
Oh. Maybe we could throw some out to them.
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas, George! George!
Is this on? Hi. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Clete Meisenheimer, and here's the news. Thank you. Thank you. Well, nice to see everybody. This is a very big night here in Fernwood at the Capri Lounge here in the heart of the Rosemont bowling alleys because tonight we welcome back Fernwood's one and only almost star, Loretta Hagers. Huh? Thank you. Thank you, boys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, that's very kind of you. Well, Miss Hagers has had quite a flirtation with a little lady called Luck and that dazzling, slippery customer called Success. She's had, well, let's see, she's had 2 records on the charts, and we here, who are her friends and neighbors, are very confident, are extremely confident that with the help of her loving and admiring husband manager, Charlie Hagers, that one day that little lady is going to zoom right to the top of the charts and grab a firm hold in the hallowed halls of superstardom. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, boys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, all right, without any further ado, here she is, the one and only Fernwood's claim to the really big time. Fernwood's first and foremost, everybody's favorite, known to everybody far and wide, the little girl who we'd all really like to be. She's a very, very dear, very, very wonderful, very, very close friend of mine, a little lady who needs no introduction. I give you Loretta Hagers!
Gosh, thank you very, very much. And thank you, too, Clete Eisenhower, for those fabulous, heartfelt words that you gave to me. Tonight, folks, I got a song for you that comes not only from the very bottom of my heart, but also from the tips of my toes and the balls of my feet.
Dynamite!
It's a true story. This song is true. It's a little story behind the song. And some of you out there know a teensy little bit about this, and none of you know all about it. You may have remembered Clete referring to my husband manager, Charlie Hagers. And for those of you out there who have been paying attention to my life, you know that Charlie's been missing, seems like 1,000 weeks. And well, even before then, he was missing in another way that some of you also know about. And folks, when I tell you that things really ain't been the way they should be between Charlie and me, I'm indicating only a teensy-tiny little bit of the heartbreak that we have felt. So recently, here a while back, you know, in the midst of all this heartbreak and separation and everything, I took a long, hard look at myself in the medicine cabinet one day, and I says to myself, I said, Loretta, it is high time that you do what all good Christians should do. Just sit yourself down and have a little one-on-one with the Lord.
Amen.
So I did. I sat down, I talked to him, and I'll tell you something. Folks, the very next day, my baby boy called me on the phone and told me that he was coming home. Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you, I was as happy as a cat at a mouse show, even in spite of the fact that the call did end rather abruptly and sort of strange-like. But rather than let it get me down now, I'll tell you what I did. I said, Loretta, you're going to have another heart-to-heart talk with the Lord again. So I did. And it come to me kind of like a voice out of the east. I don't know, you know, and it says, Loretta, you stop all this moping and pining around and puniness and everything. You just stop it right now and you shape up and fly right. It said, Loretta, you better start thinking about the good things in life instead of the bad and concentrating on the good. Well, anyway, I felt so good about all this new, you know, positive thinking and everything that I just sat myself down and wrote a song right then and there about how happy I was that Charlie was coming back home to me. And, well, with the help, rather, of my friends here tonight, you remember Richie Cutrow and Mr. Eddie Bummons, well... I'm going to sing this song for you here tonight, and even though I don't know when, I do know now that my Charlie is going to be coming on home. Seems like you've been gone from me since Moses was a kid. About your love, I'm nowhere, baby. I'm as crazy as a baby, dead. The troubles that we had before, bury them from our lives. 'Cause all that matters is you coming back, and our love is gonna climb. One look at you, that's all I got to do. I get a fever, feel my temperature rise. Send my mind flutter with a twitteration. Sends my heart buzzing in anticipation, and we'll both get loose as a goose. You kiss me, you caress me, and totally possess me, and turn me ever which way but loose. Is gonna climb. Been watching the door, waiting for your smile every single day and night. And in the song of my life, baby, you hold the copyright. Please don't do that, sir. Superstar. I didn't do anything. Hail centerfold of my life. You're the Grand Marshal in my parade. I'm so lucky to be your wife. 'Cause one look at you, that's all I got to do. I get a fever, feel my temperature rise. Send my mind flutter with a twitteration. Send my heart broken in. I asked you not to do that. Lady, I didn't do anything. Look. You'll kiss me, caress me, totally possess me, and turn me ever which way.
Oh, my ever-loving God.
Vamos, Carlos, hey, vamos, Carlos. Come on, Charlie, baby, now is the time. Vamos, Carlos, hey, vamos, Carlos. And our love, baby boy, our love is gonna climb.
All is calm,
all
is bright, round young virgin, mother and child, holy infant, so tender and frightened, sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace.
Oh, hey, look, it's snowing.
windows on our...
Yeah. I don't really celebrate Christmas, but, good for them. I'm just so happy for everyone. And yes, there is a blood stain there, but that's from when I used to wear this as a professional zombie. So, it's not real. So yeah, we are celebrating together, and Mary has a ton of people in the home. They just keep showing up. Tom shows up with a giant armload of presents, and the Gimbels show up with Philip giving the present of a little peck on the cheek to Heather. Some kind of odd bit for Mary, which she instantly regifts, and Merle and Wanda show up with a bag of candy that, again, Mary regifts. I don't know if the phrase regifting was in existence in the 70s. I feel like it's a much later invention, but that's what she does. Everyone recognizes it. Everyone knows what's going on. And they continue to add more people to the party, and I feel like it is basically folks showing up. That's what the scene is. Then Mary starts to pray for the group. Mary says, oh, well, we should, celebrate even though we have people who aren't here with us. And Loretta shows up, who is waiting for Charlie. They're still pretty sad because George isn't there. Then they sing a song together, and that's Silent Night. I think that one's in the public domain. A second party scene, and in this scene they sing a song that I think in the 1970s was still in the public domain. I think it wasn't until the 80s that it was temporarily not public domain for like 20 years, but it was still used on television in the 1970s. TV shows would use different songs for the Happy Birthday song once it became non-public. And that ends with carolers outside, or at least tinkling bells. It appears to be some Hare Krishna-like folks. I guess we'll find out the name of this group later. But not only that, one of them is George, at which Martha faints away, as she has occasionally done in the past. And then we are at the Capri Lounge with a full house. Like, that is more audience than I've seen for Loretta ever on Christmas Eve in Fernwood. So good for them that they are able to celebrate together. Cleet introduces Loretta, and Loretta tells her story. And then we hear her new song, and I don't know the title of it, but it is her hopefulness in this song. The Ballad of a Prom Queen was such a painful ballad. Painful because it was about her pain, not painful because it was a ballad. But she has turned the corner from despair into hope, and that's what that song is. And then in the background we see Charlie finally made it home. I'm very curious about his journey because Sue's death was not just a disappointment. That was bad news, and I kind of need to know that story. But then Charlie's in the crowd, creeping through from the back to the front. Then he offends a woman in front of him for something that he doesn't know that he did. I knew right away what that meant. And I think some of it was the trip that he took. Some of it was the encouragement he got from Sue to turn his life around. I think that was the tough talk that he needed. But he didn't even know that he was erect. So there we go. And then Loretta sees him and, not stopping the song, right? Don't stop the song because this song is about us, and you keep singing it. That is your hope. And there it is, right in front of you. And then the episode ends. And then we get, through the credits, continuance of that Silent Night song. Maybe it was the part that we didn't finish earlier. And it was snowing. So that, I think that post-credit scene would have been just before the second part where we see George. So it's not an after bit, unless I'm confused. I didn't see George in the credits, but I didn't look as well. So I may look again. We'll see. So really just a very sweet episode. No big dramas. they're all, if the dramas are there, but they're hidden underneath things. Like, we don't really get an outward display of the gimbal situation, just a little bit of sniping. And 2 very emotional reunions happen, which would be George returning and Charlie returning. And I expect we are going to see more about that this week. And I did see during the credits that Philip Bruns, his name was in the post-credits as a guest star rather than as a regular. So who knows how long he'll be with us, but there he is. So everyone, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for leaving your thoughts and feelings down in the comments. We have a lively comment section, and I'm glad of that. Thank you for making the list and checking it twice with me. We will see you next week in Fernwood.